Hi, welcome to Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope, the Facebook page on YouTube. So, the one thing that keeps popping up is the DCU saved? Has it been in trouble? Has there been cuts to the Justice League film? Has the Justice League film been cut so many times and they've redone it so many times? Is it in a mess? Well, saying that, he said the exact same stuff about Wonder Woman. And as you know, I've got no affiliation with anybody. I'm not in the know. I'm just like you guys and girls. I work on created the page on Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope on Facebook, and I seek out answers just like you, and I try to get it right in my head. And I got worries. I get worries all the time. And yes, we can take a sigh in relief. Wonder Woman is success and everything else. Now, a guy in work who liked BVS score whatever, he kind of joked with us. It's that sort of sarcasm. And he said to us just after work, he says, "Oh, DC's finally got a hit." And I went, "No, the last three films were a hit. The only and this is the last one was a good one, and the one before that was a good one. But of course, he was walking away, so he was. But secretly, I still think he's a Marvel fan anyway. He doesn't like the darker stuff. So that sort of thing with me into thinking, this is what a lot of people thinking. And you see all the posts, the saviour of DC, Patty Jenkins. Now, I'm not undermining Patty Jenkins in the film Wonder Woman, but as a DC fan, this is what we faced on a day-to-day basis. Even though we love Batman v Superman, even though Batman v Superman, especially Ultimate One, best-selling DVD on the market. Okay, it was best DVD of. God, I've got a torch shining in my hair. Best-selling Blu-ray, May 2017 and stuff. Suicide Squad did, yeah, okay, it didn't get the critical response that we would have liked, and but let's face it, and let's go back. Rotten Tomatoes. We have now makers of movies, of course, they're biased because they want to protect their films as well, but they're saying Rotten Tomatoes isn't something that we should all take full-heartedly in. We shouldn't listen to something like 100 critics. I mean, that's like 100 people. That's sometimes less than a classroom, and that's who we're relying on to telling us, if a film's good or bad. What really I like to think is the box office, and forget about if it's big one weekend and dips the next. Okay, if it has legs, it will keep going and going and going and make money. And again, these are the films that somehow become cult classics in later years. So, is the DC saved? It's not needed saved. Okay, Zack Snyder wrote these films. Now, the one thing that worried me, I know I'm jumping here and there and everywhere. I just want to explain myself and get everything in before I say what my idea is. Our worry is the Justice League. Is it in a mess? It was like two films put into one. Zack Snyder made these wrote films. He wrote the Wonder Woman one. He wrote the Man of Steel, and wrote Batman v Superman. So I want to look I copied and pasted this off of Wikipedia, and it says, God, I've got a torch out in my. It says the film was announced in 2014 with Snyder on board to direct and Terrio attached to write the script. Principal photography commenced on 11th April the 11th 2016 and ended on October 14, 2016. Snyder left the film on May 22nd, 2017 following the suicide daughter. Joss Whedon was brought on to finish reshoots and the post-production process. Justice League is scheduled to release on November 17. Now, that is on Wikipedia. You put in Justice League and you look it up. So what I get from that is, now Chris Terrio, Zack Snyder, you know, they wrote BVS after Man of Steel to a wee while, trying to suss things out and stuff, but at the same time, it says here that they wrote, God, you know when you get a picture taken, I mean, it's a long time with a flash, and you got the thing in your eyes, and you're still trying to, that's what it's like just now with my phone right in my eyes. I'm trying to read this, and my eyes are going, oh. So, what's it? So Chris Terrio, I'm going to try over here. So the film was announced in October 2014 with Snyder on board to direct and Terrio attached to write the script. 2014. What year is it just now? 2017. So 2014, 15, 16, 17. 3 years. Okay. David Ayer wrote the script in something like 6 weeks. Okay. So they've had lots of time to write a movie. Now, originally, it was going to be a two-parter. Okay, it was going to be two films. So basically, what they've done is they have written the whole storyline. They've plotted the whole plan for the Justice League, and they started writing that in 2014. So let's say it didn't take 6 weeks. Let's say it took a year to write a script, because normally it doesn't take that long to write a script. Okay, say it took a year, so that leads us to 2015. So 2015, they have the two films, okay, and they've got a sense, and then they start the photography, they start the, oh God, my eyes are flying. So it commenced April 2016. Photography commenced on April 11th, 2016 and ended on October 14th, 2016. Right, so round about 2016 they had the films, okay? So 2014 is when they started it, maybe 2015 is when they decided, wait a minute, let's split this film. Right, it was in two parts. So says, well, what can we do? Well, we've sort of changed our minds. Why not we just end that film, give that film an ending, and then, you know, and work separately so we can do things in between. So they've already got the whole story lined out. They've already got the, you know, the crux of where they want to go with the whole story arc thing. So for me personally, I think within those 3 years they have been given ample time to cut it in half and add a wee finish and then start afresh with something new. So they're ending one story. Now, George Lucas, he wrote Star Wars, and it's known that he started in the middle then with Star Wars A New Hope, then he carried it on. But that was not bang on the start, that was in the middle of the book. So it's easy to assume that when they get the Justice League film, it will be so easy to start at any point with the second film, at any point or place in the second film. All it is to give this film in the middle and give it a nice wee polished ending, a synopsis, so to speak. Right, so they've done that, they've planned it out. And this is, principal photography ended in 2015, this is 2017 or what, as I said, just check the Wikipedia itself. So they've had umpteen masses of time to divide the film into two and probably make the story bigger by doing that, because they don't have to continue from where it left off. They could do something different. They could have other films coming in like Shazam to tell you what happened in between, or Gotham Sirens and stuff. Now we get on to the reshoots. Now the reshoots are just, as I've said before, things that maybe when they sat down and they watched Justice League, this is right, pacing's not as good here, what we'll do, we'll need, I've watched this, that bit didn't, the characters didn't gel or something like that, something minute. So what would be better is, spoiler if you didn't know, Superman, okay, because Henry Cavill's been coming back for reshoots. I didn't like the way he came back. I think he's granted another 5 minutes of film to say his hellos, and then they do that, and that's all that's needed for the film to gel. And every film in the world gets sort of reshoots, they get called back. But what is funny is that because Henry Cavill's, he's been filming, is it Mission Impossible or something like that, and so he's on the other side of the country. Gal Gadot, she was filming something else, and so they've now, I think recently, by going by tweets, they're coming close together now to film it. So the film's not in the mix, it's all that is happening is Joss Whedon putting it in. Now there's, putting these wee extra 5 minutes into the film. There was nothing wrong with the film, they just felt like this wee extra 5 minutes would be a nice wee cherry on top. As I said before, the Warner Brothers was ready to tell Zack to leave the film for another year and come back to it because of his daughter. He says, no, I want to think me through it. They know what they're doing by this time. Zack Snyder, if he left himself with too much hassle and splitting the film up, but by this time, by May of this year, he knew what was to be done, what was to be filmed. Joss Whedon was already with them at the time, so they had a plan in action because it's been 3 years. Now, so that aside, yes, Justice League will be fine. It will be fine. Will they change it because of the success of Wonder Woman? I wouldn't think so, no. Because Wonder Woman is a different story, a different time period. It's it's a different origin to what we've had before. For Batman, it's dark. With Superman, it's the world coming to terms. But with Wonder Woman, it's Themyscira during World War. So that's how Wonder Woman got away with being the sort of style and charismatic as it was. So now we have we've already had Man of Steel being a success, BVS being a success, and Suicide Squad being a success. Money, right? I know you're sitting there, no, they got 3 stars, whatever. No, I can show you magazines which shows these films having 4 stars, right? Some magazines, some critic out there love the film, right? They got 4 stars, 3 stars. As I said before, BVS, best-selling DVD, Man of Steel. Between the two of them, they earn lots of money. I don't have the figures in front of me. It was 2 billion, 2 million, or whatever. No, 2 million. It's too low. 2 billion, right, or whatever. So they got a lot of money. 2 billion, I don't know. You know what I'm saying anyway, okay? I just wish I had this, it's a blank screen right now. But I don't have the figures, you can look it up. All three films accumulated quite a lot for Warner Brothers. And what you've seen at the start of Wonder Woman with the kind of Justice League Unlimited sort of start, like you got in the cartoons, you've seen Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, maybe Hawkgirl, Hawkman or whatever. You've seen Shazam, you've even seen Green Arrow, I'm sure. And you've seen a host of DC characters. So there's no way that Warner Brothers was, after Wonder Woman, wasn't going to carry on with the franchise. What they're doing just now is just trying to make the best, as Warner Brothers always does, is make the best films possible. Now here's the thing, right, and this could be a biased remark, okay? I've watched Marvel films, and they do have that sort of same formula. They do have that tongue-in-cheek jokes every couple of minutes and tone. Now, a lot of people seen Wonder Woman as one of the first, with the humour that was in Wonder Woman, was actually didn't feel. Now, this was coming from Collider or something like that, right? They didn't. The humour was nicely placed during the film. You were thinking you were getting educated or whatever it was, and it wasn't just put in there for sheer, just for jokes every 2 minutes. So, and now you've got James Wan talking about Aquaman and how, there's hints of a wee bit of horror in the film with the trench, with the creatures of the Black Lagoon basically coming up, and sharks, and bite, So they're following a different trend. They are doing it with a different style. They're doing it with, they have their universe set up. They're not. Charles Roven just said, we don't need, end of credit scenes and stuff like that, and we don't need to do it that way. And what I got from that, it's more persistent of DC and Warner Brothers not to go down the same route as its successful competitor, Marvel. So no matter how good, bad, whatever the Justice League comes out to be, the first movie, whatever, I believe deep down that first of all, it'll still get the money. It might not make as much as the Avengers for so many different reasons, kiddie stuff and humour and slapstick, friendly family stuff. Now, and I say friendly family stuff for Marvel because let's put it in context here. If you've seen the trailer for Justice League, that parademon just kind of hovering behind the scientist, okay? That was a bit, whoa, scary. I couldn't see Marvel doing that. So that was like a wee inch of proof that DC still intends to carry on in the style they want to do. Okay, and no matter how good Wonder Woman has become or the part in it is set out, and I don't believe that DC executives are going to go, right, we need, or Warner Brothers executives going to go and say, okay, we need every other DC film to follow this example, right? We want it all done the Patty Jenkins way. No. They want every film to stand up as its own sort of, piece of art, basically. It might not be as nice and loving and I believe in love and everything. Well, you do have the Green Lanterns, hopefully, in a year's time, and you might have the Sapphires with the love stuff. But for me, I believe the DC, you have this sort of maturity. Okay, it's now sort of light, but it's going to get darker with Darkseid, but they'll always have that sort of dark undertone. And each film for me, I believe, is going to be more. It's going to be a movie. Each DC movie is going to be a sort of different from the last. Unlike what I feel in Marvel, where they have this formula going throughout the film. So, and that is why I think DC will always have that strong followers that will go to see these films. I remember one of the guys that saw Batman v Superman in the cinema, he shouted at the end, "At last, a superhero film I could believe in." And he was talking to his friend at the time, and I believe the guy said he doesn't even read comics. This guy doesn't read comics, and that's what he thought of that film. So, is the DCEU being saved? No, it's not needing to be saved. It's just doing fine as it is, and as a fan, talking to you guys and girls out there, I mean, I've seen things on Facebook. They're reposting or resharing old music came out months and months ago about certain things being in a mess. But no, as I said in Wikipedia, it took 3 years, and in that 3 years, if it took 6 weeks to do Suicide Squad, DC, what can they do in 3 years? Okay. You might say something about, what about BVS? They took their time with that. And look at the Ultimate Edition. Look at the Ultimate Cut. Look at the risks they were taking. It's just Warner Brothers that fell to the side and thought, we need to cut it down to 2. Okay, but now I believe that Warner Brothers, and I'm sure they've said this, that are going to even give the directors even more leeway, more in charge. And with Jeff Johns, my man, as a producer on Justice League, and as I say, Chris Terrell, Ben Affleck, and everybody on board to make Justice League a success. I've got every faith in DC, and they don't need help from anybody. But that's my take on it anyway. That's just a fan speaking to you guys. Thanks very much for listening, and be positive out there.